They called her Shubomi, but her children knew her by another name, the woman who spat fire. Her tongue was sharper than a blade, and whenever her anger rose, it struck her children with the same word over and over again. Omoale, she screamed, children of shame, cursed children of scattered men. The word clung to their small house in Abe Okusa like smoke that would not clear. It wasn't just an insult, it was a curse, a brand they carried even before they understood what it meant. Among her 5 children, Omotola, the eldest daughter, carried the wound most deeply. She was graceful, thoughtful, and full of quiet strength, but every time her mother's voice thundered Omoale, it felt like a chain tightening around her future. Now, Omotola stood at the edge of her own destiny. She had found love in Adeyemi, a man of steady character, and marriage was within her reach. Yet, as the days drew closer, fear crawled into her heart. What if the curse that scattered her mother's life also awaited her? Omotola could not walk blindly into a marriage only to repeat the mistakes she had watched all her life. She knew she had to uncover the truth behind her mother's past. She had to understand why 5 men had come and gone, leaving 5 children in their wake. Because only the truth could break the chain of Omoale. Omotola could not sleep that night. The word Omoale echoed in her mind, dragging with it the shame of her childhood. She thought of Adeyemi, her fiancé. He was a good man, steady and kind. But what if history repeated itself? What if she carried the same curse as her mother, a curse that could scatter her home before it even began? The next morning, Omotola stood before her mother. Shubomi sat on a wooden stool, grinding pepper with force as if punishing the stones themselves. "Mama," she said softly, "why do you always call us Omoale? Why do you hate us so much?" Shubomi's hands froze. Slowly, she lifted her eyes, hard, bitter eyes that had seen too much. Because that is what you are, children of shame, children of scattered men. Do you know what it means to lie in one man's house today and another's tomorrow? You think I wanted this life? Omotola's heart pounded. Then tell me why? Why did you end up with 5 men? Why are we carrying this shame? For a moment, silence. Then Shubomi slammed the pestle down. Because no woman from our bloodline stays with one man. We are cursed, Omotola. From the village of Abe Okusa, our wombs wander, our homes scatter. I tried to fight it, but it swallowed me too. Omotola staggered back. A curse. This was bigger than she imagined. And now she knew she had to find the truth at its root before it consumed her. Omotola's journey led her to the dusty road of Abe Okusa, a village hidden behind thick forests and whispering winds. The people stared at her as though they recognized the blood in her veins. She was led to a mud compound where Iyalode, an ancient woman with sharp eyes and wrinkled skin like folded parchment, awaited her. You are Omoa Shubomi's child. You have her fire, but not her bitterness yet. Omotola bowed respectfully. Mama, I came to ask, why are the women of our bloodline cursed? Iyalude's voice dropped low, like thunder rumbling in the distance. Generations ago, a woman of Abe Okusa betrayed her husband with another man. When the truth was revealed, her husband cursed not just her, but every daughter of her womb. You shall never remain with one man, he declared, and the land sealed it. From then, the women wandered from man to man, carrying children, but never a lasting home. Omotola trembled. Is there a way to break it? The old woman leaned closer. Yes, but it will not be easy. If you do not, your marriage will scatter before your first child is born. Her words struck Omotola's chest like a heavy stone. Could she face what was required to break such a curse? Iyalode gave her the instruction, return to your mother. Until you face the bitterness in her heart, the curse will remain. Omotola returned to Abe Okusa with fear knotted in her belly. Confront her mother again, the same woman who had called her Omoale all her life? That evening, as she watched her siblings eat in silence, Omotola saw their pain clearly. Each one carried the mark of rejection in their eyes. She remembered how her mother's insults had broken her spirit as a child. But then she saw something she had missed before. Her mother's trembling hands, the way Shubomi stared into the fire at night, her eyes hollow with regret. Maybe Mama is not only bitter, maybe she's also broken. Omotola thought. When she finally confronted her mother again, the truth spilled out. Shubomi had once loved deeply. She had married a man with all her heart, but he betrayed her with her closest friend. Heart shattered, she had moved on, only to face betrayal again and again. With every fall, her bitterness grew until it hardened into the insults she flung at her children. It was never just the curse, it was pain upon pain layered into her soul. The night of reckoning came. Omotola gathered her siblings and asked Iyalude to guide them through a ritual of release. Shubomi resisted at first. "I will not bow to old stories," she shouted. But Omotola held her hand. "Mama, this is not for you alone. It's for us. We cannot carry this shame any longer." Slowly, the wall around Shubomi cracked. Tears she had buried for decades poured down her cheeks. For the first time, she called each of her children by their true names: Omotola, Adebayo, Ife, Kemi, Sola. Her voice shook, but her eyes softened. Yelude whispered prayers, sealing their freedom with words older than time. The atmosphere shifted. It was as though invisible chains were falling from their necks. Omotola felt light for the first time in her life. The word Omoale had lost its power. The day of Omotola's wedding came. The drums of Abe Okusa beat loud, and the air was alive with song. But deep inside, fear tried to rise again. What if the curse had not truly lifted? But as she looked at Adeyemi, who stood before her with steady eyes, she felt strength. "I am not Omoale," she whispered to herself. "I am Omotola. I am whole." Then in the crowd, she saw her mother. Shubomi's face was wet with tears, not of bitterness, but of pride. As Omotola and Adeyemi exchanged vows, Shubomi spoke softly. "My daughter, not Omoale, never again." And so, the curse was broken, not by rituals alone, but by truth, forgiveness, and the courage of one woman who refused to inherit shame. A name can wound, but it can also heal. Omotola chose healing, and with that choice, the story of Omoale came to an end.